Good day, friends. New project in at the moment, and this is one from one of my friends at church. In fact, one of the worship team guitarists. It's got a couple of problems, so I says, you know, let me have a look at it, bring it over, and he's brought it over, and it is a, you recognise this, should do, it's a Tanglewood. Those of you who know me a long time, you know that I used to sell Tanglewood guitars a few years ago, and darn fine guitars they are, or at least were. Now, if you don't know Tanglewood, they are a British company based in the United Kingdom, but they have guitars built in Asia to a good standard, or at least they were a good standard when I was selling them. But in the last few years, they've moved their production from, they're not even built in Korea anymore. I think they're built out in Indonesia somewhere now. The Korean ones were very good guitars. I had a Korean-made Tanglewood Earth 100. It was built early days, probably in the early 90s in Korea, and I bought one. I got a really good price, £70. I sold it for $150 after a couple of weeks. But in hindsight, I should have kept it because it was a fabulous guitar. It was a Dreadnought. It was so well built. It sounded probably sounded every bit as good as my £1,000 Stanford D1P Dreadnought, which is basically a hand-built version of a Martin D18. So if you can get hold of the older Tanglewoods made in Korea, absolutely brilliant. This will not be a Korean-made one. It will be likely made in Indonesia. The model number is TSF-CE-N, N standing for natural. Just bear with me a second. Ross, go upstairs. Go on. It's my dog pitter-pattering about. Yeah, model number TSF-CE. Cedar probably means C, probably means cedar, N probably means natural. TSF. TS, I don't know what it stands for, but the F will probably be folk size, so it's a folk size guitar. Quite a nice guitar. It's got a Fishman Isis EQ preamp in there, which are okay. I'm not as big on Fishman as a lot of people are. They're a good, especially a good name. But I know they cost about 70 quid on their own, but I don't rate them that much. So why has it come in? Well, the action is as high as a kite. So I would be looking at lopping something off the bottom of the saddle there. The action at the 12th fret is over 3mm. That's too high for me. The neck, probably got a bit more relief in it than it needs, so I'll sort that out. The main problem was the input jack here was loose and falling into the guitar. Now I've already fixed that, and how I fix that is I remove the end pin and the nut. And what I do is I fashioned a tool a few years ago which has a jack soldered on the end. There you go, there's the jack. And what we do is we unwind that and we stick that in the jack and we pull it out through the hole, the sound hole of the guitar, and that stops this falling through the end pin jack hole, and we can always pull it back through, no problem. So we did that. I had to adjust the nut inside to make it right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the end cap on. Now what we do here, if you see it here, there's a hole in the end of that, and what we do is we stick an Allen key in there to hold it while we tighten up this nut. So that's all done, that's tightened. The electrics work fine, bar we've got quite a bit of scratching on the volume pot and stuff. So I'm actually going to remove the EQ, and I'm going to squirt some switch cleaner in there. Just going to tighten this end pin, just reapply, give it a little twist. The end pin jack, or the jack which is now the strap pin, is now all secure and tight. That is fixed, that's going nowhere. I'll remove this, I'll get some switch cleaner in there so we can stop the crackling on these pots. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the strings, I'm going to bin them. We're going to go with some, I'm going to go with some DR strings, DR or dragon skin skins. Now, dragon skin, interesting. If you're a Christian, you probably believe in dragons, because dragons are mentioned around about 9 times in the Old Testament. Fun fact for you there. So if anything says it's made of dragon skin or it's made of unicorn horn or something, I'd say buy it, go for it. Just because you think it's a fairy tale, don't believe it didn't exist. Could have done. But yes, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put some DR strings on there, 1048 gauge. So basically it's having a setup, a couple of repairs and a restring. I just wanted to get this on camera because everything that comes in this workshop gets filmed. The work gets filmed. Not all the work, just quite a bit of it, just to show the owner of the guitar that is getting a proper job. The nut on this is absolutely fine, don't need to touch that. Fancy dropping the action just a little bit. I will also clean up the frets and oil the fingerboard. Now, because Jono is from my church, he will get a reduction on this. I give a reduction for church members or for worship team members. I myself being part, well, I've just joined the worship team at Ashwood Church where I am at the moment. I love playing worship music, it's my favourite thing. And most of you that know me know that I was the main guitarist at the worship team in the church we used to go to in Blidworth. So it's great to be part of that. But yes, I always do a church reduction on my prices. So that's it. I'm going to crack on with the work. I'm going to get it all tidied up, strung up, get it all fixed, and I'll come back and show you the results later. So I've sorted the issue with the scratching volume control by squirting in some switch cleaner. In this case, Servicol, which I've always used. It's the right gubbins, gets in all those places that you can't normally get in. It'll just seep through. If we just try the pot, there you go, no crackling whatsoever, fixed that. Now this guitar, as a Vera, it tends to break up. The higher you turn the volume on this, the more the sound breaks up, but it actually distorts if you turn it on full. So this guitar, I would recommend going no more than just over half on the volume. Go around about the 1 o'clock position. Any louder than that you start to get break up and distortion, which you don't really want on an acoustic. Turn it up full, you'll get the idea. Down to about 1 o'clock. So I would recommend you don't go above 1 o'clock on the volume. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's a bit of a dodgy pot or something. I don't know, but I recommend going no louder than volume than about 1 o'clock on your volume knob there. The guitar sounds okay. The action is so high, it's really quite a struggle to play, even down this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 1 millimetre off the bottom of this bridge, because it is really high. I mean, we're looking 3.5 getting on for 4 millimetres above the 12th fret. We want to be around about 2.5 millimetres absolute maximum. So if we're going to remove 1.5 millimetres from here, we've probably got to remove 2.5, nearly 3 millimetres from here, because 12th fret is halfway between the bridge or the saddle and the nut. Exactly halfway is the 12th fret. So if we want to remove 1 mil there, we have to remove 2 mil from here. I'm a bit reluctant to remove 2 millimetres, but I'm going to remove at least 1 millimetre just to make it more comfortable to play. We're also going to go with a lighter gauge string, 1048. A lot of these tend to be strung with something like a 1254 or something equally as outrageous. You don't need heavy strings on these guitars because they're a folk size, they're a smaller size guitar. They're we're about a 7/8 size of a full size guitar, maybe even a 3/4 size. You don't need heavy strings on these things. It makes them sound dull. It creates too much tension on the neck, probably why we've got a bit too much relief in there. And it's more difficult to play, and you're likely to get cramp a little bit, especially if you play standing up, like, I mean, with your guitar upright like I just did then. Playing normal's okay, but you don't need that extra tension because you've got to press harder, and the harder you press in, the more chance you're going to get buzz and you're going to play sloppily. You need to be relaxed when you play guitar. It should be a relaxing, pleasurable experience. You shouldn't be fighting your guitar to play it. Some might actually question that when they see me play guitar, because I'm quite an aggressive player, but I've not been an acoustic player for that many years. I am predominantly a heavy metal punk rock guitarist, as I've always been in the past. But you can change the style to suit, but it's still quite, you have to really work against this guitar because the action's so high. And you don't want to be working or struggling or fighting your guitar. You want to just be relaxed and you just want to play it and you want to let it all flow out nicely. So all I've got to do now is I'm going to remove some material from the bottom of this saddle. The nut is absolutely fine as it is. I'll clean up the neck, polish the frets, we'll lower the action and we'll get some new strings on there. I will definitely, next time you do see me, this guitar will be done and we'll give it another play and hopefully everything will be good. But so far, so good, we're doing well. Back just briefly, and the guitar I have ripped off about 1.5 mil off the bottom of the saddle to lower the action. I just wanted to come back and show that I'm using real dragon skin strings on this guitar. And let me tell you, you want coated strings, you want them coated in dragon skin, because God didn't create dragons for nothing. They were pretty special. That's why man wiped them out. Just telling you that. So we are going with these are handmade and coated, like I say, coated in dragon skin, handmade, gauge 1048. These are the only strings I use. I should say these are the only strings I use on acoustic guitars. They're made by the company, my name is DR. These make lots of strings. They make strings for down tuning electric guitars. These strings are very good. They're around about, I think about £14 for 2 sets. But at some places you can pay £12 a set, so I get these at a really, really good price. So I'm going to stick a set of these on this guitar. These strings, I had a set of these on my Yamaha when I was in the worship team at Blidderth at Shield Forest Community Church, and I had the strings on for 14 months and they were still fresh, more or less as fresh as the day when I put them on. They had no tarnishing, they were not dulled in any way, shape or form. It's why I pay for these strings. I don't pay £16–17 for elixirs when these are as good. However, I do have to get these from America. But they are brilliant strings, so watch out for this brand. And I'm now going to string, something else I've done, I have cleaned the fingerboard and polished the frets. This guitar has now ended up having a full setup, which I'm not going to charge for. I already sorted the price out with John, but I'm going to do it as more or less a freebie, just so you can see how good my work is. So it's had more than, obviously a lot more than was paid for. I thought I'll just get the frets all polished up and I'll cut this saddle, get the setup right. The nut also fell off when I took the strings off. I've glued that into place. I've also tightened all these nuts and all these screws on the tuners and at the back to hold them in place. So everything has been tightened. I've also done the electrics, made sure they're not squeaking anymore, and sorted out the input jack. So he's had the full bit. Normally I would have charged 50 quid for this work and 7 quid for the strings. But he's not paying anywhere near that, so I'm going to crack on, get the strings on. Hopefully I think I've got the action set more or less right, and I think it's all going to be good. Back shortly. And we are all done, and I absolutely guarantee that this guitar has never played better, even new out of the box. It has never played better than it does now. What I've done is fix the input jack. I've also got rid of the crackling and scratching on the pot, on the volume pot, by basically stripping it, cleaning the inside. I've glued in the nuts. I've also oiled the fingerboard, polished the frets, tightened the tuners front, back and sides, back, sides, front, and I put a brand new set of dragon skin strings on, 1048 gauge, coated. These strings will not tarnish. I guarantee you'll still be playing these in over a year and they'll sound just as good as they do today. The guitar plays amazing. I've lowered the action. We are 2¼ mm above the 12th fret on the low E and 2 mm above the 12th fret on the high E. Perfect setup. The guitar plays absolutely wonderful. I've just had a little twang about on it. Sounds good plugged in or not. So that's it, it is all done. Now, this is a guitar you're going to enjoy playing. Been a great little thing to work on. I've got a soft spot for these type of guitars because I used to sell Tanglewoods just like this one. I used to sell a lot of them as well. I used to make some good money selling these, but yeah, absolutely beautiful. So I know for a fact you are going to enjoy playing this again. Beautiful, beautiful setup. A little bit of relief in the neck there. I'm sure you'll agree that the action was high when you played it before. You'll just be amazed with how much better it is right now. If you think the action's a little bit too low, we can raise it again by putting a shim under the saddle there. But I think I've got it just right, absolutely right. It's an absolute joy to play now. One criticism of it, if the volume is too high on this, the sound tends to distort even in a clean amplifier. So like I said, I would have the volume at round about 1 o'clock. Which on if you're using it as a normal dial, 1 to 10, you'd probably have it around about number 6. So bear that in mind. But I'm saying about 1 o'clock would be perfect for this plugged in. So all in all, very nice guitar. Been a pleasure to work on. It has had a full £50 setup with a set of £7 strings. You know I'm not charging you that. You know what I'm charging you. I've already talked to you about that. I will text you later to let you know. But I'm going to get this video encoded, get it posted to YouTube and on my channel. I'll send you the link shortly. And enjoy the guitar. I'll bring it to church on Sunday. That's another project finished. So fret friends, keep up with my website, keep checking for new videos, blah blah blah. I'm on facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. That's facebook.com/NG17. I've also got a website at fretfriend.co.uk. Not a lot happening on there, it's just basically an opening page at the moment. It's under construction. But stay tuned, keep checking my site, keep enjoying my videos. God bless you all, be good to each other, and I will see you soon.